Preview.
Hello and welcome. My name is Zaffar Iqbal, and you are watching the Mojo Story. The US has indicted billionaire Gautam Adani, his nephew Sagar Adani, and others for allegedly paying staggering amount of more than 2 crore rupees in bribes to Indian government officials between 2020 and 2024 to secure solar power contracts through state electricity companies, ensuring profits from a 12 gigawatt project awarded by the Solar Energy Corporation of India. The bribes were paid according to the US, concealed from US investors and banks, and allegedly facilitating using encrypted communication. Now, code names like Numero Uno for Gautam Adani and disguised payments. To discuss this and for a better understanding, we're joined by Mitali, who's the founder and chief economist at Nikore Associates. Welcome to the show, Mitali. Mitali, how serious is this matter? How big are these allegations? Can you break it up for us?
Yeah, absolutely, Zafarji. So first of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. And when we think about this entire set of news stories that has broken, it's very interesting, and the timing of it is also very interesting because if we think about it, the amount in the allegation from a US economy perspective is actually quite small, right? We are talking about INR 2000 crores,
Yeah,
which I mean is for the US economy about 2 or 3 billion dollars, which I mean which is not much, right, for them.
yeah,
However, because the economy size for them is like much bigger,
yeah,
but the reason why the US authorities seem to be taking this very seriously is because there is what they are calling like deal after deal and state after state in India, which is following the same pattern as per these allegations. And they are worried that this kind of bribery and this kind of mechanism of getting the award of the contracts, and how this has been described in great detail in
yeah.
the allegations, is of course creating unfair markets, and it's going to impact the US investors as well as a Canadian investment firm, a Canadian pension fund is also named actually in the allegations. So it's actually extending to multiple countries, and we have seen that the impact of this on Adani Group, especially in terms of their stock market value, really, taking a big hit after these allegations have surfaced. Having said that, they are still allegations, and a whole, legal process has to follow to establish them.
Right. And the shares of the companies of Adani have already taken a hit. That is what is being reported. A few years ago, there was this Hindenburg report. How
Yeah.
is it different from what are the comparisons between the two, the Hindenburg report and today's indictment by the US?
So I think the first thing is about the credibility of who is making the allegations. Hindenburg is a private company. Hindenburg is a company that actually specializes in speculation on markets, and it's a financial services company. So when Hindenburg comes out with a certain set of allegations or a report, it's privately funded. It's not it it's for their own gain, because they are known to make stock markets a little bit unstable and to profit from
Yeah.
that situation. Whereas in this case, when it's the US government which is coming out with the allegations, then the chance of that sort of speculative market activity and market based profiteering is obviously not there.
Right. So the allegations in the Hindenburg report could be brushed aside, but this latest US indictment, of course, is very serious.
Yes.
What happened at that time? There was a crash of the Adani stocks, but they had really bounced back. But this time, the
Yes.
implications would be far more deep.
Absolutely, Zafarji, because if you think about it, I mean, this is one of the world's most, powerful governments coming and making a case against, one of the world's most richest individuals.
Yeah.
and who's not even from that country. He's from another country. So we have to really see to what extent that jurisdiction goes, to what extent the legal battle and how long the legal battle goes. But at the same time, it definitely affects the reputation of Adani Group as a whole. And that's what we are seeing with the stock market situation.
Right, and it's given an opposition a handle to hit out at the Modi government. After this report came out, Rahul Gandhi gave a press conference. He said that Prime Minister Modi is protecting Adani and is involved in all of these corruption cases. If we can play a short clip of that press conference.
और एंड में मैं आपको बता रहा हूं, नरेंद्र मोदी जी का नाम निकलेगा, क्योंकि बीजेपी की पूरी फंडिंग, पूरा फंडिंग स्ट्रक्चर इस व्यक्ति के हाथ में है। इसीलिए प्रधानमंत्री चाहे भी कुछ नहीं कर सकते। एक प्रकार से अदानी जी ने हिंदुस्तान को हाईजैक कर लिया है। हिंदुस्तान अदानी जी के ग्रिप में है, इसलिए हिंदुस्तान के एयरपोर्ट्स, पोर्ट्स, डिफेंस इंडस्ट्री, ये पार्टनरशिप है। एक तरफ नरेंद्र मोदी जी और एक तरफ अदानी जी। और मैं आपको यहां कह रहा हूं कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी अदानी को अरेस्ट नहीं कर सकते हैं। कैपेबिलिटी नहीं है हिंदुस्तान के प्रधानमंत्री की कि वो अदानी जी को अरेस्ट करें, क्योंकि जिस दिन उन्होंने अदानी जी को अरेस्ट किया उस दिन वो भी जाएंगे।
Right. In fact, Adani Group has also come up with a statement, and that statement says the Adani Group spokesperson says the allegations made by the US Department of Justice and the US Securities and Exchange Commission against directors of Adani Green are baseless and denied. As stated by the US Department of Justice itself, the charges in the indictment are allegations and the defendants are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty. All possible legal recourse will be sought. What do you make of this statement by the Adani Group? They had to say something.
Yeah.
They were quiet for some time, but now the leader of the opposition has given a press conference. It's already the most trending topic. So obviously, they had to come up with this statement. How do you see this statement?
I think it's a safe statement, and it's a statement which is quite factual. I mean, it is true that this is, of course, a set of allegations, and a case has been filed. And under any legal, process, anybody is presumed innocent until proven guilty. So, I personally feel, Zafarji, that this is going to take, few years, maybe even, stretching into all of President Trump's next term. And also, when the officials of the Department of Justice will completely change, as the new president assumes office, and maybe this case even won't be a priority for them. Will it be a priority for them? We don't know. So there are a lot of new twists and turns that are likely to come up. And also, we have to, I mean, even as like journalists and commentators, we also can't take sides and say, this person is right or that person is right. We have to see, based on the legal process, who is proven to be guilty. And I think when we look at Rahul Gandhi ji's statement, of course, it is very much in line with even his opinion piece, which he had written a few weeks ago in the Indian Express, where he had spoken about monopolistic practices in India. I just feel at the end of the day, the Congress also does not have a clean slate. No political party in India can come and say, no, we are corruption free, we are absolutely clean. So
Right.
it's about, as a country, we, the citizens, have to come up and demand systems which safeguard us. And to say that, our taxpayer money should not be misused. We have to minimize corruption, we have to strengthen rule of law as a society.
Right. And recently, Gautam Adani had tweeted about Donald Trump and America, and he has ambitions of making huge investments, $10 billion investment in the US. Do you think those ambitions for the moment will be obstructed after this report, and it will definitely have an impact on his global ambitions and particularly investments in the US?
So I think the Adani Group at this point in time is invested in many countries. Australia is again one of the notable countries where, they are invested. Now the allegations are only against one company, which is the green energy company and Azure Power. So they don't actually extend to other Adani Group companies. Of course, the reputational risks, as we discussed, it affects the reputation of all the companies, but legally it's only these two companies which are actually impacted. And we never know, because as I said, the dispensation, when it changes and when the politics of it, when
Right.
they change, then maybe they would welcome the investment coming into the economy, because at the end of the day, they have won the election. President Trump has won the election on the back of the promises to the people about job creation, about improving the economy. So at this point in time, any person who's coming to their country to invest, it will be difficult to, even from their perspective, to turn them away. So I think really a lot of balancing is going to happen over the next 1 to 2 years, and we have to also see how the cases actually and the legal process goes. So a
Right.
lot of twists and turns.
Right, absolutely. And but how is the government of India responding to all these allegations? Does it have a potential for some sort of a tension to creep into the US-India relationship?
Definitely. So, I mean, this is quite contrary to, the statements that the government of India has been making in the last, if we look at the last few years, and even, right now, this has come even as Prime Minister Modi met with President Biden just yesterday on the sidelines of the G20 summit. So, it's quite surprising that these allegations may were not discussed, prior to the release and press release of these statements with, the government officials. And it remains to be seen how the government of India reacts, because these are actually allegations against state governments rather than with the government of, the national government. So I think somewhere it's also not clear whether the national government should even be responding, or if the state governments need to react individually, in each of the state corporations that are named, because I think 7 or 8 states are named, in the allegations.
Right. And coming back to this Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, it seems to be a very strong act, and things start to have rolled on the basis of that. But the systems are so strong there that perhaps it does not matter after a point whether it's Trump or it is Biden. They may have their own point of view and agendas to drive in, but particularly about this Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, that seems to be the main thing behind all of this what has come out.
So, Safarji, I think, somewhere the political economy always trumps, to use the word Trump, always trumps, trumps the law and the processes. And of course, I think, again, as citizens who are concerned about the world, I would want to see, processes always and institutions being stronger than the people who are running them. But how a particular law is used and applied really depends on the person who's leading that department.
Yeah,
So we have to wait and watch and see, whether that law will be applied in a manner which it is supposed to be applied, or if
yeah,
it will be not applied. We have to see. But
yeah.
also we have to see the legal merits of the allegations. Because at this point in time, nobody can say whether these allegations are justified or not. So the evidence only can really speak. I don't think it can be speculated whether this person is right or that person is right.
And how will it play on the next steps of action that will be taken in the US? Of course, after this, there will be perhaps more that will be as a follow up that will come out. How is it going to play up?
I think from here on it's a legal story.
Yeah,
From here on we are going to see, because the economic story, the big economic story was today. when the markets corrected and the markets really responded to to these allegations, and the markets are spooked,
Yeah.
because for the stock market of a particular stock to lose 20% valuation in a single day is a very major occurrence. And a lot of Indians are invested in Adani Group in different ways. I mean, there are investors, there are employees of the organization. It has one of the largest employee base in the country, and it also has employees internationally. A lot of MSMEs are suppliers to Adani. So it's not as though the Adani Group is only taking, and just at the end of the day, it's also creating economic value for the economy. So I think we have to look at all these people whose lives are going to be impacted if the company's valuation takes a hit, or if the company's economic health takes a hit. But overall, in terms of how this will play out, I do expect this to be much more of a legal story, much more of a legal battle in the years to come. I don't think it is going to be a quick resolution.
It's a legal story here on and a legal battle, but a very much a political battle in India. Rahul Gandhi gave the press conference right in the morning, even before the statement from the Adani Group. And Amit Malviya of the BJP has also tweeted, if we can have that tweet up, and parliamentary session is just round the corner. So you would expect what's going to happen there. That's that tweet. Don't get needlessly excited. The timing of the report just before the parliament session and Donald Trump's impending presidency raises several questions that the Congress is willing to be a prop in the hands of George Soros and his cabal speaks volumes. So you clearly see that tweet by Amit Malviya, Rahul Gandhi's press conference, and the Congress has been insisting for a JPC for a long time. It had dominated a parliamentary session in the past. Do you think that that is going to be repeated this time around? Also, it's a very big issue, and it's given the opposition the ammunition to hit out at Prime Minister Modi.
Absolutely. There is no doubt that this is going to dominate our headlines for the next 2, 3 months. And definitely, I mean, I expect parliamentary walkouts. I expect that parliament functioning is going to completely come to a standstill because of this issue. Now, there are two sides to this, right? As a concerned citizen, we will say corruption is a major issue. We should be talking about it, and of course, the parliament should be talking about it and it should be raised. But at the same time, again, as concerned citizens, the problem is
Yeah,
that even while these workouts, etc., are taking place,
yeah,
the usual business of the parliament is going to suffer, and we are not going to be able to see, any of the bills which are pending in parliament going forward. So we are definitely going to be at an impasse, for the next few months when it comes to this issue. And at the end of the day, it's the people, who are suffering on other issues as well. I mean, why we need our parliament to be debating air pollution, for example, and
right,
and we need our parliament to be debating women's safety, and
right.
so many other issues are there. But definitely I expect, I mean, this is not a lesser of an issue, but it is going to become pretty much the only issue. I think we can all
Yeah.
predict it.
That's a very clear prediction that everybody can predict that's going to happen. But clearly, from the point of view of the Adani Group, this is an entirely different case, unlike a Hindenburg report that would have been brushed aside, but not this. This has come from entirely a different agency, and perhaps it's going to be a long legal war. And this would have obviously also dented Adani's ambitions to spread to other places, particularly to the US. We'll keep a close watch on this story. But for now, thanks so much, Mitali, for joining us and sharing your thoughts with us. And thanks to our viewers for watching the Mojo story.
Thank you.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.